Good afternoon, my friends. How you doing today? Welcome to Chicago Bears Podcast. If this is your first time here, I just want to say thank you and welcome. To the returning subscribers and the new subscribers, I want to say thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the amazing feedback from my last video. Thank you for all the positive support from the last few weeks. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I am that guy. I read every comment. I respond. I try to respond to every comment because I like to engage with human beings. That's who I am. Victor G from Chicago Bears Podcast. That's who we are over here. Trying to be different than the rest. This is going to be, I don't want to say this is just the happy place because it's really hard to find happiness in this losing season. But this will also, at the same time, not be pessimistic central. No, this will not be bashing central. This will not be rumor stirring central. The media loves to stir the kettle, and then throw the soup on the floor and say, well, this is the soup that they create. And then they stir the kettle more and reverse the things that they're saying. It's their business. That's how they get paid. They make outrageous claims and then they spend lots of time walking them back. What was everyone saying at the beginning of this year? That this man, Caleb Williams, would be taking us to the Super Bowl. Playoffs. His first year. Let's get real. Anybody who's been following the Bears as long as I have, as many of you out there, knew that this end result would likely take place because the coach was the same exact guy that I believe ruined all chances for Justin Fields last year. There's a fun little fact, guys, I want you to know about. Heavily sacked quarterbacks get destroyed. This is NFL history. 2002, David Carr, 76. Bryce Young, 2023, 62. Tim Coach, 59 in 1999. And now Caleb Williams, 56. History tells us quarterbacks that get sacked often are often ruined. This is a lot of organizational problems. This problem goes pretty deep. But we're not going to be like Emmanuel Acho that is just going to just talk about body language. Body language. The man was rocked super hard. And he was hunched over, writhing in pain. You want to talk body language? We've seen bad body language. Do you remember Jay Cutler in the memes with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth? He didn't care. He didn't care. Win, lose. Remember, he wasn't the guy in the locker room that was the high five guy. He wasn't the guy that went along across. Remember, look back at those games. Jay Cutler wasn't the guy that got his team going, that rallied his team to victory. That wasn't Jay Cutler. I just saw a video yesterday from the famous Hail Mary game. Look back, look it up. It's online. When Caleb Williams was yelling to wake up, pay attention, and he's watching Jaden Daniels scrambling all around, and there goes that Hail Mary, and you see Caleb Williams just watch. When that ball was caught by the Commanders, he walked off very, very upset. Now, I don't want to say that's what I enjoy, but that's what I like to see. A guy, a quarterback that cares about winning or losing. And when he wins, look at Caleb Williams. He is, let's go. When something good happens in the game, a touchdown, a positive play, he is definitely not negative Nancy. Say what you want about Caleb. If you want to, there's arguments to make on both sides, and we will not invalidate anyone's opinion. If your opinion is that he's a bust and it's over, it's fair. It's fair to feel that way. My instinctual feeling is this organization is where quarterbacks come to die. This is what I've been seeing for years. We've all seen it. We went to the Super Bowl, my friends, with Rex Grossman. Everyone remember that? Now, the game, in that game specifically, was lost by Rex Grossman. He was just a gunslinger. He cared. He threw that ball into harm's way all the time. It was raining. It was a rough game. It was pouring rain. It was bad. Bad PTSD memory. But Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky. We went to the playoffs twice. With Jay Cutler, we went there multiple times and won. The last playoff win, my friends, has been with Jay Cutler. In what year? 2012. The same year our good old Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl. That's the last time we have won a playoff game. That tells me, my friends, this is organizational. I'm really happy to have you here. I'm glad you've joined us because this is Truth and Accountability channel, and we are going to get to the truth and get to the bottom of this issue. Now, time will tell how broken this man is, but heavily sacked quarterbacks don't do well. And I believe, with his numbers, he's got a 61% completion. Before today's game, it was 2,937 yards. He's breaking records on the yards. I believe after today's game, top 3. So we're going to get to some of the bigger stuff. Now, basically, before I get too deep, the Ravens, my other favorite team, won against the Steelers. My other favorite team. Of course, it's Bears Central. This is Chicago Bears channel. But I am going to enjoy the football world. I love football, and I love the NFL. And when you're a Bears fan, as long as I am, sometimes you need two teams on the side to root for, to give you something to enjoy. Because some of us just love football. So I get that. Then the Ravens trying to win the division still. So I guess they're still alive. But, the Ravens won. Steelers didn't come in clutch at the end. So Kirk Cousins, also big news. Kirk Cousins is going to get traded, very likely. So before that $10 million bonus kicks in, the interceptions are killing him and the turnovers. So not good. Now, really quickly into this game. I'm going to try to go really fast through this because it was good and bad. But at the end, the losses is what it's all about. Wins and losses is what it's truly. The end result is all we really care about. 70 days, my friends. 70 days since our last win. Another first half disaster. We can't get it going in the first half. Believe me, someone will kick in. Someone will come in and change that. It's the culture. Someone will. When you go this many games, this team is the worst first half offense in the entire league. The Panthers beat Arizona Cardinals in overtime, 36-30. We got beat by the Arizona Cardinals. What does that tell you? That terrible teams are having better success at the end of the year than the Chicago Bears. So, not since 1933 have we had such a first bad in the first quarter. It almost. Caleb snapped it today. He scored. Since 1933 almost that we haven't scored in the first half for 3 games in a row. 1933. Does this not tell you history in this team, in this city? History tells you the whole story. So, run game, no good. Swift is not the answer. DeAndre Swift is not the answer at running back. He had 20 yards of offense. Caleb Williams had 34. Bad. Yards per play, Detroit 8.5, Chicago 7.4. So, not terrible. We were in there. Cole Kmet, finally. Hey, I'm with you, Cole. He showed some emotion today. He showed some emotion in the locker room. He's fed up. He said today what I would have said. You know what? What positives? There's no positives. He always would try to find the silver lining. He had a nice touchdown today. It was nice. Caleb connected with Cole Kmet. So that was good. He's not targeted enough. And we don't know why. We'll get to that. DJ Moore drops. He's struggling. Him and Caleb and DJ Moore are just not on the same page. Fourth quarter, I wrote down here in the fourth quarter, Caleb is not looking as bad as we think. He's not looking as bad as he's been. It's been rough. Holding that ball, it's his MO. Did he hold it long a little bit today? Too long? Yes. But way more decisive. By far. He had an insanely amazing catch by Allen. It was wow. Next play, Caleb scrambled, 3 open wide receivers. He missed them. So that's going to happen. That is, we're not making excuses. Just giving you the facts of what happened in the game. It was a garbage call and a false start. Didn't like that. That was terrible by the refs. That's going to happen. Some really good drives gave us some potential faults. I saw some really good drives. We missed, there was a nice, 3-4 play touchdown. Really quick, but we just can't be consistent. That's our struggle. Consistency. Penalties. Penalties continue to plague us throughout the entire year. This game was another penalty game. Lions punted for the first time late in the fourth quarter. That'll tell you a story. Lions punted once in the fourth quarter. So the offense, guys, the Lions are a Super Bowl quality team. Super Bowl caliber. They will very likely be in the Super Bowl. Very likely. This is a dynamic offense. Super dynamic. You can't take anything away from a good team that you're facing. It just all depends on what we do and what we react to and where we're at. It gives you an indication. But you're not going to come in a team that way we've played and people are thinking we're going to upset the Lions. I don't care how many people are injured on this team. The backups will take care of business because the system that they have established over years and years and years of losing Detroit. Yes, you haven't won a Super Bowl ever. When's the last time they won a playoff game? For the first time, I think last year in forever. So we're not going to get carried away. Detroit, make sure they need to be humble because they've struggled just like us. Detroit has been one of the worst teams in the NFL for decades. So just like us, we're in the same boat. We need to throw no shade at each other. We've both been struggling franchises forever. So no time to rally, predictable, bad calling. A lot of bad calling I didn't like to see. Jaden Daniels, man, he beat the Eagles today. He came out of nowhere. Jaden Daniels he's got a good future with the Commanders. Eagles dropped the ball, came up short out of nowhere. So a prior opponent of ours got beat by the Commanders in that terrible Hail Mary. And then now Jaden Daniels shows it wasn't a fluke. They're 10-4. They're a good team. Or was it 10-5? They're a good team. Eagles had a better record. Commanders came up and beat them. Panthers beat the Arizona Cardinals. We touched on that. This, my friends, back to the Bears, 9th straight loss. Chicago Bears' future is in focus. That's all we're going to talk about for the remainder of the year, the future. We're not going to get hung up on what's going on. Defense got lit up today. Ryan Poles, as usual, failed us in the trenches on both sides. Caleb Williams' stats, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushing, 34 yards. DeAndre Swift had 20. Go figure. Keenan Allen had 141 yards. Jared Goff, 336 and 3 touchdowns. That'll tell you the whole story. Some spectacular plays. But as usual, first half struggles has plagued this team since week 1. I did mention that. Why does this offense refuse to target Cole Kmet? They need to get him rolling. But again, we can talk about that all day. The system. Cole Kmet, you got to get your tight end going. You got to get your running back going. That's not happening. Penalties, fumbles, 2 by Roma Dunze early in the game. 2 fumbles will kill you. It'll kill your momentum. It'll kill your drive. So the first half is always a disaster. Caleb was much more decisive, like I mentioned. But we're concerned. We're concerned. And he's frustrated. That's all I'm concerned about. Forgive me. And he's very frustrated. He's not happy. He's not happy. I see he cares. That's what I care about. He cares. I care. We care. That's what's important. Caleb is approaching some record-breaking stats. He's going to pass Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler has this overinflated stat that I can't stand. All-time throwing yards. It drives me bananas because Jay Cutler, no friend of his. He is just a quarterback that would make my hairs turn gray. He just was. Great moments, and then just talk about wanting to throw a chair, hit a hexagon. No, that's a hexagon. It's not an octagon. That's a hexagon. So, still hasn't thrown an interception, Caleb Williams. He is something. It's quite phenomenal. He still hasn't thrown an interception. That is insanity. Say what you want. It is strange. Almost just step back for a second and just go, whoa. We've seen terrible teams, terrible quarterbacks just can't avoid throwing interceptions. They cannot avoid. The interception is almost just predictable. And this man just refuses to throw an interception. And it's not all, no, throwing it away. No, he threw it away when he should have to avoid the sack. So I was okay with that. Ron Rivera may end up being a head coach for this team. Just a thought, just a little I saw an interview where he was asked the question and he kind of smiled. I'm sure he hasn't been approached yet, but Ron Rivera, if you remember Ron Rivera, he was the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears when we went to the Super Bowl, and he was the head coach of the Panthers when Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl. So that was great. So I wouldn't be opposed to Ron Rivera coming back and leading this team. It wouldn't be my first choice per se, but it wouldn't make me necessarily nervous either. I'd have to keep my pulse on what the news is about the whole situation, but I'm neither conflicted on that. It doesn't bother me if that would be a possibility. It's just an instinctual, strong possibility. It's a name that's not being thrown around as much. It's everyday Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, Michael Vrabel. That guy, maybe. I don't think so. There's a lot of rumors going around. I believe Mike Vrabel is going to go to Ohio University to coach. But I believe Ben Johnson seems like he might be the one. Tell me what you guys think. I want your opinion. Let me know if I've misspoke. It's open here. We don't have to be rude. Be polite. Let me know so we can all grow together. The better I am, the better we can all be as a unit. We're all Bears fans here. We're all Chicago football fans, sports fans, or if you're a casual fans, you, my friends, are welcome here. You're all welcome. This should be a positive way to go. I am not going into the bash people direction. The facts, what I believe could be better, what I believe who just irritated me, that will just be, but there's no reason to bash any human being. If you're an athlete, if you've been an athlete, you understand that it's tough to be an athlete, especially in the NFL. I couldn't even imagine the pressure that these guys are on. And I guarantee this team is deflated. I mean, sometimes you have to step back and be a human for a moment, guys. Be a human being for a second and say, how do you think, if you were on the Bears, how would you be feeling right now? Not good. Not good. You just keep every day. It's like, oh God, here's Friday, here's Saturday, and here we go Sunday. And the team has checked out, which really irritates me. It does bother me how they've just checked out. This is the reporter that said this, that after the game, players just want to run. They want to get out of there and avoid the media because they are so checked out and we're out of the playoffs. How would you feel that every game you play for the next few weeks means nothing? As an athlete, that's very deflating. Gotta be rough. So I have to be instinctually sympathetic for these guys. They're human beings, for Christ's sake. We're human beings. We shouldn't be so necessarily cold and cutthroat. I believe we should open our opinions. If you're frustrated, let it out. I do. But there's a line between opinion and just character assassination. I believe there's a fine line. And I'm not into character assassination. That is not who I am because I would hate that done to me. No one knows me like I wouldn't know you guys. So let's try to be a little bit, constructive. It doesn't have to be, I'm not surely about this, half glass full when this team is just a dumpster fire. That's not here. I'm going to be real, honest, and I'm going to let it out. I'm going to let how I feel. But character assassination, I am not into. So I'm not here to go and character assassinate Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, or anyone really. With the exception of, Matt Eberflus, apologies. I mean, he just drove me bananas, that coach. I'm sure he drove you all bananas. I'm sure you were all like, when will this coach just be gone? Now he's gone. This was going to happen. This comes to be no surprise that this team is just tanking. When you fire your head, he said it today in the podium. Caleb Williams, firing the head coach midseason, firing your offensive coach midseason. Do you think that is the recipe for a Super Bowl run or a playoff run when you fire your head guys midseason? That's going to just take the tank. Every ship needs a captain. You take the captain out, the crew is left like, okay, what do we do? This team needs leadership, not leaders of men. This whole phrase about leaders of men drives me bananas. Leaders of men. We don't need leaders of men. Every single coach in the NFL is a leader of men. We need winners. We need winners that can get it done. Let's go. You guys have a great week. Thank you so much if you're sticking around this long. You guys are amazing. You guys are on the top of the chain. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Thank you for your subscription. Please leave a like, subscribe if you like the content. It really helps the channel. It helps everyone out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Have a great Sunday, and we'll catch you in the week for Bears news. Bye-bye. Good night.